Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Al, and we have even more class changes on the horizon, set to release next week in a new build of Dragonflight, with a lot of your favorite classes receiving buffs next week, especially for certain playstyles that found themselves falling behind in PvE and game content. This set of updates also addresses our classes in PvP as well, and includes a mixed bag of changes, with many focused on adjusting the pacing of PvP encounters in order to create more counterplay opportunity, while bolstering the specs that found themselves less than wanted in grouped PvP rated content. And today I want to go over all of these upcoming changes and dive into the detail on how your current main is set to be impacted as these updates go live next week with the regional reset. But right before that, most of you guys watch these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. First, I want to go over the changes that will affect your main in PvE content like dungeons and raids, starting with the class of Druid. Restoration Druids are seeing a small healing increase, which is only applicable in PvE content. The talent of Embrace the Dream is seeing its healing value increase by 25%, and Luxuriant Soil has a slightly higher chance of spreading rejuvenations to nearby allies. Next week, we'll be seeing even more improvements to the class of Death Knight, starting with the Soul Reaper, which becomes 10% more deadly in execute encounters, as well as improvements to Icy Talons, which last a lot longer, making it much easier of a buff to manage. Unholy Death Knights are getting a bunch of improvements as well, with the Undead Ghosts and Fiends summoned from beyond the grave, with the Apocalypse ability lasting longer in combat. Damage of Death Coil, Clawing Shadows, and Scourge Strike are also being improved as well, and the talent of Reaping will be more effective, further bolstering your damage against wounded targets by 5%. The newest class of Evoker is also seeing damage buffs to the basic ability of Disintegrate, with this change aimed at both the Preservation Healer spec as well as Devastation Damage Dealer counterpart. This buff could allow for blue-focused DPS playstyles, and improves the single target output of a healer damage build as well as a potential mana-conserving playstyle. Marksmanship Hunters are seeing slight damage reductions next week, with their core kit reduced by 3%. This shouldn't impact them too heavily, however, but it does overall tone down their PvE performance. The class of Mage is seeing big improvements next week. So far, the spec of Arcane has held a dominant position in all forms of endgame content, as Fire and Frost have fallen behind. In this upcoming reset, the spec of Fire is seeing large buffs to its most basic abilities, with its mastery of Ignite further improved by 5%, while Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Fireball, and Scourge see their damage enhanced by 12%. The spec of Frost is also seeing improvements next week, with spells like Ice Lance increased by 12%. Flurry, Frostbolt, and Glacial Spike are seeing their numbers go up by 15%, and Splitting Ice is going to be even more effective at cleaving nearby targets for Ice Lance focused playstyles. Windwalkers are also seeing a slight reduction next week, with these changes set to bring their damage down ever so slightly, without impacting the overall endgame performance. Shadow Priests are seeing big improvements, with a large portion of the basic abilities like Void Bolt, Mind Blast, Mind Spike, and Mind Flay improved by 20%. Periodic damage effects like Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain, Devouring Plague, and Shadow Apparitions are being buffed by 10%. However, the Idol of Yasharaj damage increases against feared targets has been reduced from 15% down to 5%, which will mostly impact Shadow Priests in PvP content. Next week, Rogues are seeing some reductions, with all three specs seeing the overall power diminished slightly for endgame content. Resounding Clarity will empower fewer combo points, and Fatal Concoction talent loses some power when it comes to weapon poisons for assassination rogues as well. Enhancement Shamans are also seeing a slight reduction in this build, but not enough to completely destroy the current standing. Enhancement Shamans should still stay relatively as powerful as they are right now, even after these upcoming changes. The spec of Affliction Warlock is seeing much needed damage buffs in this upcoming build, with spells like Malefic Rapture seeing itself increased by 15%. Drain Soul and Shadow Bolt filler abilities are also seeing their damage amped by 20, and the talent of Pandemic Invocation is seeing its damage increase by 500%. Pandemic Invocation causes your targets to burst with shadow damage whenever you refresh any damage over time spells as they are about to expire, rewarding Warlocks with bonus resources. So far, this talent has been somewhat underwhelming. It costs up to 2 talent points, which doesn't feel like an impactful investment, and the difficulty curve of dot management during the last seconds feels unrewarding, especially with such low damage. So hopefully this adjustment will make this talent a little bit more meaningful. And besides Affliction, we're also seeing a small damage buff to Chaos Bolt damage as well. Finally, we have updates to the class of Warrior, with the spec of Arm seeing its overall damage bolstered, with Mortal Strike and Execute further improved as well. And we're seeing slight tweaks to the tier set of Fury Warrior, further enhancing the critical strike chance of executes. In this build, we also have some PvP specific adjustments as well, to help further adjust classes during the early season of PvP. This set of PvP adjustments also comes with developer notes justifying any and all changes, starting with the class of Druid, where we're seeing reductions to the Life Bloom healing by 10%, as the spell has proven to play a much more significant role in PvP than they're currently comfortable with. They're also looking to reward balanced druids who are capable of evading interrupts by empowering the damage of Wrath and Starfire, as well as improving the overall output of Star Surge as well. Feral Druids' group survivability is quite high, so the talent of Leader of the Pack is being reduced slightly to help adjust the overall performance. Holy Paladins are set to see the mana regeneration reduced slightly in PvP combat, while Discipline Priest mana regen is being improved slightly instead. Shadow Priest, however, does lose some survivability choices, as well as a reduction to burst capability of a combination of Void Volley CC as well as the Shadow Word Death Execute. All monk specs are seeing damage improvements for abilities like Blackout Kick and Tiger Palm. Mistweaver's mana regeneration is being cut back a little, and the Windwalker's Strike of the Windlord ability sees a massive burst reduction when using the ability against enemy players. Rogues are also seeing burst reductions this week, with the spec of Assassination's Death Merc ability reduced by 30%, and Subtlety's Secret Technique talent burst damage also reduced by 30% as well. The main goal of these nerfs is to help reduce the burst of Rogue, which is currently really effective but creates very little room for counterplay. This means that you will likely run into less situations where a rogue helplessly locks you down while taking your HP from healthy to dead in just a matter of seconds. The Shaman Healing Stream Totem sees healing increases in PvP. The Enhancement Shaman loses burst capabilities with spells like Elemental Blast and Lightning Bolts while empowered by Primordial Wave. The same goes for Elemental regarding the Elemental damage burst output also, while Restoration's Riptide is being improved by 15%. Warlocks are seeing big reductions this week, starting with Demonic Embrace, which no longer grants additional stamina within PvP. Affliction Warlock's Soul Burn effectiveness for portals, Drain Life, and Hellstones is also being reduced in this upcoming build. Demonology Warlock's Interrupt of Call Fell Hunter is being increased to a minute cooldown, up from the original 30 seconds, reducing the impact against casters in PvP. And finally, Destruction is seeing buffs next build, with Chaos Bolt, Shadow Burn, and Incinerate damage increased by up to 30%. Finally, we have Warrior PvP changes, with Fury Warrior's talent of Warpaint reduced in overall value, while Protection Warrior's damage is being cut back as well, reducing the impact of Shield Slam and Rend in PvP combat. And for now, that's going to be the full list of upcoming changes set to release next week in the future build of Dragonflight. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about some of the upcoming buffs to a handful of playstyles, especially to those that found themselves outside of the meta? And what do you think about some of the adjustments to PvP, specifically with Blizzard targeting some of the burst classes and reducing some of the overall impact while trying to create more opportunity for responses? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.